Something is happening in Nigeria and people are no longer keeping quiet. A respected woman of God, Sarah Omakwu, has come out boldly to speak her mind, and what she said is shaking conversations across the country. She talked about pain, she talked about injustice, and she asked one serious question. Is Nigeria truly treating all its people the same way? Listen carefully to her words, because this is not just a speech. This is a cry from the heart.
I have watched what is going on around our country with pain. At the age of 63, I believe I have become a mother in this nation and can speak to this nation. I have never spoken to our present president, but I will speak to you today, sir. The government is failing us. I look at what is going on in Jos, what is going on in Benue, what is going on in Kwara, what is going on all over the country, and I'm worried. I am pained. There is a dichotomy I see. Two standards I see. I see one standard for the north and another standard for the south. Whenever a few Igbo boys have gotten angry and acted or reacted, they send Air Force, Navy, and military to go and stop them. They take armored tanks to the east. But we see Fulani boys stand and speak on the internet. They say anything, do anything, and nothing moves. Instructions are given for nobody to move. Well, Nigeria belongs to all of us. God put us here. No man put us here. Christians and Muslims. My mother told me before she passed that these things we are agitating for, they have been agitating for them since they were children, and nothing changed. This platform, God has given it to me for a purpose, to speak for the helpless. Sir, why are the same soldiers and Air Force not hovering over Jos? Why are they not hovering over Kwara? Why are they not hovering over Southern Kaduna? Land have been taken. People have been removed from their land and nothing happens. If it were Igbos, there will be artillery and fireworks. They will be killing them like anything. Now, I'm not saying what they do is right, because I actually don't know all the details. But what these people are doing too is not right. I don't know what the agenda is. I don't know what the plan is, sir. But Jesus Christ is building his church, and no force on earth will stop us. You can kill us, you can take over our lands and all, but we will always be in this Nigeria. So the time has come, especially in this Easter period, to remind all Nigerians that Nigeria belongs to all of us, and let there be justice. What you do in the south, do in the north. What you do in the north, do in the south. But this Nigeria will stand. The church of Jesus Christ will stand, and the gate of hell will not prevail against.
All right, let's break down what Sarah Omakwu said in a deep and balanced way, so you will understand what is happening in this country. First thing, at least you can feel it already. You can feel what she's saying in her voice. What she said is not just talk. It is pain speaking. She said at 63, she has watched Nigeria for a long time. That means she has seen problems repeat again and again. That is it. And she has had promises that never worked. And according to her, now she is tired of keeping quiet. She's basically saying, enough is enough. I cannot pretend anymore. As if things are right. She said it is time for her to speak up. And she's positioning herself as a mother of the nation. That part is very important. When she calls herself a mother, she's not talking about her own children alone. No. She's saying, I care about all Nigerians like my children. And that gives her first the moral ground to speak. That woman is not an ordinary woman. And she's not speaking as a politician. She's not speaking as a tribal person, but as someone speaking from her conscience. Her biggest complaint, note her biggest complaint, and that is the core of this particular video. Her biggest complaint is about double standards. That is the core message. She's saying clearly, Nigeria is not treating people equally. Now listen to her comparison. He said, when some people in the South, especially Igbo youths, react, military is sent immediately. Heavy force, even the whole of Nigeria army could be poured in the Southeast. The Air Force, the tanks, they want to destroy the place. You see strong action. But when violence or threats happen in the North, in northern areas, you see slow response, sometimes no response. You see silence from authorities. So, her question is, why two different rules for one country? Let's look at that. There's a video I saw a particular time. Some soldiers they are very happy. They are jumping all over the place that they are being taken to Southeast. And some of the soldiers are saying, we are going to deal with them. Why is Nigerian army always stronger? The Nigerian military, why are they always stronger when it concerns Southeast Nigeria, when it concerns Igbo people? If you don't understand what she's saying, if you're not in Nigeria, you think what she's saying is like the Nigerian army refused to work in the north, and they are trying to help the Southeast. No, in this case, when they hear Southeast, you see their power, their muzzle, everything comes out. They want to deal with the people. You see, based on what she's saying, you see a kind of hatred. You see that wickedness. You see that real, okay, we are now soldiers. Now we are soldiers when it concerns the Southeast. Let's go and deal with them. But look at what is happening in the North. Even the Southeast, if you look at the regions in Nigeria, the Southeast and South has the lowest insecurity. But when you hear about these guys planning to go for, whenever there is any small unrest, the way it is suppressed, I'm not, like she said, I'm not supporting criminals, no. Yes, we don't want criminals in our land. Whoever is a criminal should be uprooted. We are not trying to support criminals. But you see something that appears like a kind of vendetta, a kind of hatred for a particular people. I think Nigerian army should be Nigerian army. Yes, save Nigeria. But more attention should be focused on the North. That is where the problem is. Leave your wickedness. I don't say you should not work in Southeast. But we know the truth. We know what is work. We know what is hatred. Work in Southeast. Do what you're supposed to do. But you know the problem. Work in Southeast as someone who, okay, we have Nigeria in mind. We want to fix Nigeria. Don't go to Southeast as if there is something you did not finish during the Civil War that you want to go and finish. That is how it appears. Meanwhile, the North is boiling. Things are happening in the North. We had stories of bandits, I think in Sokoto or maybe Meduguri or Bono. Bandit killed a policeman. All of these terrorists, they kill policemen. They still come to meeting with government wearing the policeman's uniform. Where are the Nigerian army? You saw pictures of armies taking picture with bandits. As if they are soft, as if, oh, our northern bandits, their sense, we will be soft on them. But when it concerns the Southeast, not again, root out insecurity anywhere, but make your mind dead there. People understand the game. I thought I'm the only one. Meanwhile, I'm not the only one. There are many people who understand what is going on. I don't want to say it beyond this. Let's look at other things she said. So she mentioned specific places to prove her point. She mentioned Jos. She mentioned Benue. These are like middle belt areas. She mentioned Kwara. She mentioned Southern Kaduna. Hey, this country, these particular places she's talking about, they are known for community clashes. The main violence is there. In these particular places she mentioned, there are a lot of killings. You can never compare what is happening in Southeast with what is happening in Southeast is very small. In these particular places she's talking about, you have land issues, a lot of displacement, killing. Some people have left their communities, their home, because of fear of. And this, we don't see massive presence of the army working there, Air Force and and the rest of them. So her point, listen to her point. Serious things are happening there, but the reaction is not the same. So she's not supporting violence. Note that. That is very important. She is not supporting violence. She made this clear. I'm not saying what anybody is doing is right. She said it. You heard her. And that is very important because she is not defending crime in Southeast anywhere, because there's also crime. She's not trying to defend anybody. She's not encouraging retaliation. No. Instead, she's saying wrong is wrong, but justice must be equal. Justice must be equal. She is questioning possible hidden agenda. When she said, I don't know what their agenda is. That shows suspicion and confusion. She is basically asking, is there a hidden plan? Why does this pattern keep repeating? But she did not claim any specific conspiracy, just concern. Onya gwara marugo, onya gwara marugo. Then the next one, she brings in religion and faith. This is where her identity as a pastor shows strongly. She said, Jesus Christ is building his church. And you know what that implies? He said, no matter the oppression, no matter the suppression, oppression against the church, no matter the violence, faith will survive. And there's a point Jesus said, don't be afraid of those who will kill your flesh, but who will kill your body, your flesh, but they cannot tamper with your spirit. So she's saying faith will survive. She's giving people hope, spiritual strength, not fear. And her message about Nigeria, you heard it, is about unity. It is not division. Even though she is criticizing the system, she said Nigeria belongs to all of us. And that is implying equal treatment. That means to her, she's not calling for breakup. She's calling for what is good for the goose is good for the gander. She's not rejecting Nigeria. Instead, she wants a fair Nigeria. Since after the Civil War, this one is Miss speaking. So her core demand is equality. Her core demand, that is her strongest line, simplified. Same law, same treatment, no favoritism. What a country. She said, what you do in the south, do it in the north. And even in the amazing thing, this place has less security, and this place has most, and we don't see how visible these guys are. What you do in the north, do in the south. This is justice must be balanced. And she also talked about generational frustration. Her mother told her, what her mother told her, keep resurfacing. You're already fighting the same issues long ago. And that is powerful. And what it means, this problem is not new. It has lasted for decades. They keep repeating the same thing, doing the same thing. Different generations have complained, but nothing changed. And what that creates is hopelessness plus urgency. Her speech is trending. What she said is trending. Because this woman does not just come out and speak. What she said touches sensitive truths. It touches security issues, ethnic imbalance complaints, government response gaps. And she said it boldly, emotionally, and clearly. Oh, what a country. Final simple summary on what she said. If we put everything she said into one sentence, Nigeria is not treating everyone equally. And if this continues, people will keep feeling pain. But according to her, she believes justice and unity must win. This is where I live this. This country, this country. Please don't forget to share this video. Also subscribe if you have not subscribed to my channel.